Today I'm recording this video. OPBR has just released Hody Jones and Neptune as this month's Bounty Fest, and honestly, I was really excited because for a whole 4 years, this game had only released 5 Fishmen characters. What's even worse is that there's only one worth mentioning, a Fishman that probably some of y'all don't even know that he is, Jack. But finally though, after years and years of waiting, we have the Fishman arc here, the moment for the Fishmen to rise. And surprise, surprise, OPBR is the OPBR. As always, they ruin it again. Considering everyone knows Dickhead and Caribou as troll characters and their concepts are actually pretty good, I won't be picking on them today. But Hody and Neptune though, these two characters can be any worse. Hody's skill 1's completely useless in the current meta, sacrificing his own health as cost, yet everyone can so easily watch him. And for Neptune, although he's playable, but just barely, in the current situation of the game where more and more characters are falling into the criteria of mediocre, Bounty Fests are supposed to be the ones to step it up, especially when we're only getting 2 per month. As Hody failed his part miserably, naturally you'd assume Neptune to carry the whole Fishman race as the king, but unfortunately, bro gave up just like he did in the anime. And after 6 hours of being despondent and miserable, since I've been looking forward to this day for over 3 years now, I decided to still be positive, given that at the end of the day, we still have the final ray of hope for Fishmen in both anime and OPBR. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Raid on Onigashima Jinbe. Onigashima Jinbe is a character that at first glance may not look appealing. In fact, looks just like another one of the 3 typical defenders that we had. Short reach, low attack, high defense, one-trick pony. And when it comes down to the amount of traits, he doesn't even have many. However, upon closer inspection, you'll realize how concise yet impactful this character is, even though he does have a couple of problems. But that's just any other characters in game, as long as you're not Big Mom. Strengths are followed by weaknesses. So whether you're looking to understand how to effectively utilize this character to his max potential, or determining is he worth investing time and resources, we'll tackle it all today. Starting off with the strengths. Believe it or not, Onigashima Jinbe is a quite competent defender, due to the fact he has what every good defender needs, damage reduction. Just like the Bounty Fests who are ruled the meta, Onigashima Jinbe got a simple yet effective package. 50% damage reduction when HP is above 70%, and another 30% damage reduction when your team searches an area. A total of 80% damage reduction that can be easily utilized without complying with the known restrictions. And with damage reduction medals, you can easily get it up to 90 to 100%, which is insane considering no condition he needs. Next up, when your team's treasure area and the treasure gauge is above 80%, you'll remove and nullify all status effects, and also nullify stagger and knockback. This trait is super good, almost an essential, because it means you can easily take down characters like Hybrid Kaido, Hybrid Yamato, and Pearl's Pearl, who relies heavily on inflicting status effects. Also, part of the reason why Neptune flopped is for how often he can get knocked back by enemies. Now, let's talk about his bread and butter, Skill 2 Demon Breakfast. This skill is his main source of damage, even though it doesn't seem to hit hard, but accumulated damage can get up to 860, and you heal 50% of every damage dealt, up to 3000 each hit. Also, when you hold down the skill button, you'll get an extra 70% damage reduction, meaning a max of 150% if you have the original 80. And even if you're low on health, you will still have 100% damage reduction in your own treasure area, which is more than enough to save you from even crowds of enemies. Furthermore, when you combine the rarest trait that only he has, for a set period of time while using skill 2, resist stagger, down, knockback, and 1 HP will be left even if killed by an enemy. Alongside the nullify status effect trait that we mentioned, he becomes practically invincible. Just imagine, 150% damage reduction, survives anything with even 1 HP left. That means no matter if you're the Big Mom, Kaido, Yamato, Zoro, and even if you're the Tornado of the Alabasta, you will not be able to kill him. And this ability alone, in my opinion, brings it up to a whole nother level of possibility. Lastly, I won't technically call this a strength, but we'll talk about his skill 1, Spear Wave Murasame. A pretty straightforward skill, long range, multi-hit. Range is more of a mid-range, but is pretty good stopping kings capturing flags, and also deals great damage on team boosts. overall a pretty decent skill. Now that we have finally gone through all his strengths and skills, but this video cannot be considered finished if we don't mention his flaws. Similar to his strengths, Jinbe's flaws also stacks and compounds, in a bad way though of course, hence they might not be big deals individually, but when they team up, it's a real pain the experience will become. To understand this thoroughly, we have to start with the culprit. It's what makes him invincible, yet hinders his every move. The requirement of 80% treasure gauge. As we mentioned earlier, Jinbe has straight damage reductions easily, but in order to get in that next level, he needs the treasure gauge to be above 80%, which is something if you've watched the Kato video you'll know, hard to build up, yet easy to crumble. There's also characters like Big Mom now, who ignores opponents while capturing flags, making the condition even more demanding. Furthermore, in a match where the opponents are smart enough to know your traits, they will just simply leave you for other flags when they see the gauge is above 80%. And due to how slow you move, comparing to the across the map travel skills they have, you are pretty much forced to make a decision. Either stay at the flag and hope your teammates win their fights, or leave the flag, risking losing it all. Speaking of the issue of charging flags, we have to mention how getting there is also a problem. Typically, slower characters will have various long-range attack methods to make up for the lack of speed, or have multiple ways to knock back the opponents. However, neither of them applies to Jinbe's situation. With only one knockback, that's his skill 2, and both skills being more of a mid-range, even lacking skill and cooldown reductions, Jinbe is quite useless outside of his own treasure area, or even just when the opponents are no longer forced to push, due to the fact when you're pushing or outside your treasure area, opponents can aggressively suppress you with their high mobility and attack range, ultimately defeating you with ease, especially on their bigger maps. Although many defenders have the same issue, but it's especially severe for Jinbe, since in this case, he not only needs to get to the treasures, he also needs to fill them up. So yeah, that's a complete review of the raid on Onigashima Jinbe in OPBR. And honestly, this character, he's really hard to rank, cause on one hand, he's truly outstanding, with the 150% damage reduction and 1 HP survive trait that even tanks a sandstorm. But on the other, without skill 2 or outside of your own treasure area, he becomes useless. Nevertheless, his ability to defend the treasure cannot be denied, so I'll give him a rating of A-. As for metal sets, since he already has really good damage reduction, I would suggest to go with skill 1 or skill 2 set, depending on what sets you have. For the attributes, defense is essential, but from there on, it's up to you. An ideal set for me is to go with max defense and max attack. After all, no matter how long you clinch and struggle, getting KO'd is inevitable. Might as well take as many opponents as you can along with you. So yeah, that's it. Hope y'all enjoyed the vid, and I'ma see y'all next time. Peace.